Another day, cleaning my baby, making her shine. Making her shine. See that? See that? See that glistening? I had something in my mind, right? I was thinking about. Reminiscing about a few things. And thinking about how if you know me, you know, I go back, rethink certain things, rehash certain situations, and you know, came to one little conclusion. We gotta stop. It's because if you know life, you know that every situation is not a one glove fit all, right? You have to be able to differentiate between each situation and handle it accordingly. We got to stop trying to desensitize people. We got to stop because we don't understand where they're coming from. We got to stop feeling like they have no right to be mad or they have no right to be upset. Hear me out. And like I said, this is not a one glove fit all situation. You have to handle each situation accordingly. You know, I ain't over here saying that, you know, you should allow people to be upset, that like super duper lose their mind and you forgot the salt. Like, you know, like, you know, I'm not, you know, we're not talking about extremes, you know. Unfortunately, we live in a society where, you know, 300-400 extreme situations will somehow, some way overlap millions of other sane ones. Like, you know, so I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is reading a situation, right? A person is visibly upset about something. And that notion to want to shut down, to want to kill it, to want to just ignore the person. What I'm saying is that's not right. Okay? And I can say that because I'm the king of that. I've done that plenty of times. Different people. Oh, you mad? So, okay. I don't know why you're mad. And just kind of like brush it off. And you know, as I've gotten older and just viewed different situations and have allowed things to play out and replay old circumstances and things like that and just say, you know what, you know, being who I am today, I wouldn't handle that way. You know, that's one thing I think about, you know, when it comes to friends. What's the phrase? Girlfriends past, whatever, you know. Like, example, person comes to you, they're upset about something, right? And, you know, the way I used to handle it was like, what are you upset for? Like, for what reason? That's dumb. You know, in a sense, I still kind of have that reaction, but, you know, back then I wasn't listening. I was listening, but I wasn't listening, if you get my drift. Like, I would hear you, but I wouldn't even attempt to understand you, you know. I would just listen and I'd just be like, and most of that stemmed from me thinking, if I wouldn't have gotten mad at that, why should you? If I think it's stupid, what are you mad for? And it was one of those things where it just made me have to go, you got to stop doing that. People have a right to be upset about certain things. People have a right to view certain things and, you know, not agree with it. And it may cause, you know, a reaction, so to speak. We got to stop making it seem like because we don't necessarily agree with what has upset that person, that person is just completely crazy, that person is just outlandish for even being upset. We got to stop doing that. You got to start listening to people, trying to see where they come from. Even if you don't necessarily agree with it, you have to be mature enough to talk to them and try to help them see your standpoint, and the two of you come to a mutual understanding to where you can move on from the situation. It's too many times where we allow a situation to fester, to go on, and then when a person is upset, we just brush them off, and they'll not necessarily get over it. They'll just put it in their back pocket because they're like, they don't care. They're not even listening to me. And isn't you may feel like the situation is over, but it's not. That's planted seeds for, you know, that's going to come back, that's going to take root, and it's going to come back later. And that's not what you want. You want to be able to take situations as they come and fix them, take them head on, and keep them moving. And this is an aspect of all relationships: child to parent, sibling to sibling, friendship to friendship, man to man, woman to woman, woman to man, all, other situations, whatever, relationships, all of that. You have to be willing to listen to people. Now, with that being said, you also have to, you also have to figure out whether or not a situation is even worth the time. I have lost friendships because I felt like whatever, and sometimes I go back and think about it and I'll be like, I could have fixed that. Even at the very least, we could have at least been on speaking terms. I always say that in my videos because it's just something I always think about, and I'm just like, and I try my best not to write people off as quickly anymore. Now I understand the dynamics of relationships change, and I understand that people grow apart, people this, people that, but people don't necessarily have to become this enigma in your life. It's just this one thing that happened, and or this time and place, and now we're just never speaking again because of a misunderstanding. But you have to be willing to be emotionally mature. You have to be willing to hear people out, meet them where they are, and try, if you're the more emotionally mature one, pull them to where you're at. Help them to see this, help them to understand why you either did what you did, or why you view it the way you view it, and get to a place where you both are like, okay, the situation's over. You understand? Yes. You understand? Yes. And keep it moving. We get into this mindset of well, I'm emotionally mature and you're not, so I don't have time for that, so you need to go about your business. Now, again, one glove does not fit all. I'm not saying that there aren't situations that there are not situations that you absolutely do need to cut your losses and keep it moving. Hey, this friendship ain't working. Hey, this relationship ain't working. Hey, this partnership ain't working. I need to go ahead and leave you alone. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there are situations to where, it's a person you do care about. It's a person that you are in business with. It's a person that anything that's pouring back into you and you're pouring back into them. There are situations like that to where you need to take a time out and each one teach one type mentality. How do you expect individuals to grow as individuals, to grow emotionally, if you're not willing to talk to them, to try to guide them through their emotions? If they're upset about something and you truly feel like it's not something to be upset about, or they misunderstood something, talk to an individual. Say, yo, like, that's not what it is. Hear me out, da 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 da. But this is this. But listen, that's not what it was. And talk to people. Too many of us are willing to just cut and run, so to speak, or cut our losses, so to speak. Too many of us. Again, because I know there are individuals out there that's going to hear that and say, well, I'm not talking about the situations that are detrimental to your mental, spiritual, physical being. Obviously, if those situations have come up, yes, cut and run. Get out of there. It's not worth the hassle. I'm talking about situations that you and an individual have chosen to take a particular path with each other, whether it's just friendship, whether it's just relationship, whether it's a partnership, and there is a disagreement, and instead of just up and saying, well, F it and I'm not dealing with it and whatever, Talk to that person. Hear them out. Even if it's the most immature, irrational stance they've taken. How do you expect an individual to grow emotionally in who they are if you're not willing to talk to them? If you're not even going to try to hear them out? That's the aspect of being wise. You have to be patient. You have to be patient in an individual's ignorance, and you have to be willing to help them through it. You think I got to where I am today because I didn't have people around me that heard the stupid things that I did, heard the stupid way that I thought. Let me, apologies. I'm not calling anybody stupid for the way they think and stuff. Irrational. Let's just use that word. Irrational. Way that I handled things and didn't take the time out to just really explain it. I've had situations where me and my mom butt heads, just to use that as an example. I'll use myself. Well, me and my mom butt heads about something that she'd either done or something that I'd done. Sometimes I was the wiser one. Yeah, sometimes you can be the wiser one. Most times she was the wiser one. But that's because we understand that in order to teach the next person, you have to be patient within their ignorance and try to guide them through it. You understand what I'm saying? So if it's a person that you want to help for real, if it's a person that you do have a particular type of relationship with, and you choose to continue to build with that individual, there are going to be times and there are going to be hurdles where, you two really don't agree with each other. And you have to be willing to sit down and say, listen, let's talk about this. Now, with all that being said, if an individual is willfully being ignorant in certain things, chooses not to see the other side, chooses not to acknowledge mistakes, yes, there will come a time where you need to cut ties. But until then, give people a chance, man. It's tough out here. And we all were stupid at one point. So we ain't come out the womb wise, man. And given the fact that a lot of people, given their circumstances, given their environment, they just learned all the wrong things. So, that was on my heart to say. Felt like saying it. Take it or leave it. Goodbye. I'm getting on my bike. Later.